Hermanos de Telehit, nos encontramos en un especial de lujo, una de las bandas consentidas de todo el público mexicano, grandes finlandeses, tienen nuevo material discográfico. Para mí es un verdaderísimo placer poder platicar con Apocalyptica. First of all, it's a real honor to talk with you. Thank you very much for having this interview.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cool. Now, Seventh Symphony, congratulations because of the album. When you start the creating process of this album, what was the most important thing that you want to express?
We always want to express a new kind of music, that we feel the music what we write and play feels fresh and brings some new kind of angle for the band. And
I think it always represents the stage where we are. Where we are. And we did a really long tour last time. I think something like over 200 shows. And on that state of mind, when we started to make new material, I think that has got a really strong impact.
At the beginning point, when we started to write, it's more like we write stuff, and when we had some material, together, then we start to get the impressions, you know, and then talk about, okay, what's the direction where we want to start to guide the whole thing.
But I can see in your music a big evolution with this album. In the instrumental part, you experiment with more complex sound. It's almost like a symphony.
You are fantastic. Thank you. I love you.
He's professional. Actually, in the beginning, we were very much focused on getting the vocal tracks, you know, done, because that's the longest process to get the guest artists together and, you know, to finalize those songs. And when we had lots of vocal tracks, we started to think about what kind of instrumental music, and this time we wanted to bring the instrumental songs totally different direction than the vocal tracks. In the past, we had many times we had instrumental tracks which had the same formula.
Yeah, the one with
singing, and sometimes felt that okay, it's a great song as an instrumental, but would be even better with vocals. So this time we wanted to be totally free from any kind of verse, chorus, kind of thinking on the vocal tracks, and that's why on the instrumental tracks, and that's why it has more symphonical, more progressive vibe on all the instrumental tracks.
And which way is more difficult, more harder? The one when you wanna be just instrument, or the one when you're thinking, okay, it has to be a singer in this song?
I think there's difficulties in both ways, but this time I think everybody was, when we started to write songs, especially instrumental material, I think the Cult album had got quite a strong impact on us, and we wanted to sort of be as brave as the band was back then and sort of take those challenges again. So
I think a lot of the attitude in a Cult, because it was kind of like a revolutionary album, and especially we were thinking that what is the strongest part of Apocalyptica, and we strongly feel that it's in a live show, and therefore how to capture that mood of playing live to the album as well, and so that people could get that real energy. And also I would say that this album was probably the biggest challenge so far, because we had already such a powerful album, the previous one, Worlds Collide, and how to overdo that and still go like break our own borders, which is always something that we desire to do with every album, to find new ways to make the impressions and express the musicality.
And I really think that Seventh Symphony, it's the same quality or even better than Worlds Collide. But at some point, did you get nervous or worry about, whoa, I mean, we just released such a successful album as Worlds Collide, now we have to do something equal or better. Do you feel pressure about it?
Not really. We actually tried really to concentrate on not to get any pressure out of that, because record labels and other people, you know, around us, they take more pressure of that, and for us the main interest was to make music that we get very excited by ourselves. Because if we start to do the music the way that, okay, this needs to be successful and this needs to be as great as Worlds Collide, you know, then you just can fail. So it's better just focus, okay, let's try to make great music and let's see where we end up. And actually, to be honest, this time when we started to record the album, a lot of songs were still not existing, which are on the album. Okay. So there's a lot of last-minute calls, like 4 songs of the 10 songs came in like in last minute, and that was very exciting. So that forced us in studio to be very creative and innovative all the time. Everybody had to be all the time very focused
yeah.
because there was no time with the new songs to make demos. Let's try this and that and that. It was more like, okay, now we just play the songs and be creative and put a lot of fresh ideas in there.
I think that's also one of the reasons why we managed to capture kind of this live mood in there, because there is a lot of parts that are truly improvised in a situation that just let's try what everything fits in here in the structure of this song.
And improvisation is really important in music.
Yeah, the producer Joe Barrisi,
Yeah.
he put a big impact because he's the guy who loves sounds. He's crazy with all kind of amps and pedals and stuff. So that was great combination, to work with him, the improvising parts, because he was generating so crazy sound worlds that inspired us, to play in totally new way and totally new kind of things that we would have never thought about. So it was very exciting.
Now, talking about the first single, "End of Me," it's a great song, but I have to be honest. At the really beginning, when I just knew that the collaboration is going to be Gavin Rossdale, I was like, what? I mean, Apocalyptica, the lead singer of Bush. I didn't imagine that, and it was a great result at the end. How was the chemistry? Who came with the idea? Okay, let's ask Gavin Rossdale.
We had this song already existing, and we were thinking about possible singers, and suddenly we remembered, hey, Gavin, what is he doing? Because we did 98 or end of 90s, we made a remix for Bush.
Okay.
So we were very familiar with his sound and his voice. And that time he left us a great impression of the way he's singing. And then we thought, okay, we don't know what he's doing at the moment. Is he working on new stuff? Nobody heard about him so much recently. So we contacted him and he was luckily on board. And we personally, we never wanted to be stuck when thinking about collaborations, that somebody, that the vocalists, they need to come from metal genre. Yeah. Of course not. It's more exciting when we can offer the singers a platform to perform where they normally don't do.
Of course.
To do something different.
Awesome. Now I just saw the video. Great video. Where did you film it? It's like a cathedral or something.
It's a, what do you call it?
Crematorium.
Crematorium?
Where you put the ashes.
Yeah, I know perfectly what is crematorium. Awesome. How do you came with the idea? Okay, let's do a video in a crematorium.
It's our director, Lisa Mann, she directed already I Don't Care video, and we really fell in love with her way of expressing emotions and how she feels our band is. I think we have really the same kind of a way of thinking things, and we wanted to have her back, and now she's actually directing all the 3 videos we're going to do for this album, and it's going to be like sequels. All the 3 videos going to have sort of it's a sequel, yeah. So
awesome. Now talking about another song of the album, Bring Them to Light. I know that you did that song for Worlds Collide at the beginning. Is that true? And then you did.
It's not really true, because the song was written just before Worlds Collide was recorded, but it was more like we have a French publisher in Paris, a great old guy, and he was very familiar with Joe, and he thought it's a great idea to put us together to write a song. So it was no plan, let's make a song for Worlds Collide. It was more like, okay, let's sit down and see what happens. And we wrote that song, and I think it didn't just fit to the Worlds Collide. And this time, when we were thinking about the vocal tracks for this album, we wanted to also have something which is totally different, which is not single type, or it's not so rock song.
Okay.
It would be, we wanted to have something really powerful metal track with vocals.
So you didn't change the original version to this one? It's the same one?
It's basically the same one. We did some rearranging, but the song itself, it follows very much the thing what was written 3 years ago. But I think it's great collaboration in that way, because it's not typical Apocalyptica song. It's not typical Gojira song. It's something totally different. It's old school thrash metal, type of thing, very fast and furious. And I remember that Joe was very excited about this to perform the song, because he was like, I never sang this way, I never thought that I could sing this way, because he has his own personal style, and so we all approached something new.